Hi traders, this is Cynthia of Trade Forex, and in this video I'm introducing a new MT4 signal system called the Forex Decimus. And I just received this program yesterday, and so I'm trying it for the very first time this morning on my demo account. And it's basically a signal system that gives you the pop-up alerts. Right here you can see the pop-up alert for the different buy or sell signals. And I'm doing this in a 15-minute chart because I can't do this in a longer time frame because the video just gets too long. So I'm going to try and keep this video short while I show you the results. I have these charts up. I started this project about an hour ago at 6 a.m. Central Standard Time, and all I did was go through one chart at a time and look for the signal here, and it'll tell you what your trend is, and it'll give you the signal. It'll say buy, sell, or wait. And so I'm just going to flip through the charts, and at this point in time things are getting a little bit up and down because we're approaching 8 a.m. Central Time, and the signals are holding true for the most part because we're close to break even. However, I've seen, since I put these trades on about an hour ago, I've seen the gain go up to almost $20 at one point, and then it goes down and then it goes up, but I'm just going to leave these trades intact. The way I'm going to decide whether to close them or not is when the stochastic in the bottom window shows that the two lines are crossing, because this is a stochastic indicator. The red and the green dots are your sell and your buy signal, and when the lines cross, that tells you that the momentum of the trend is changing. So for instance, this red dot was a sell, and this was the point I was paying attention to this chart, and the signal was right on time, except for my entry was late because I was busy looking at my other charts. And so when I did place the trade, this candle actually was red, and here you can see my red vertical line I put in to show my sell entry. So this was a little minor pullback, and the trend has gone down again, and the trend is still down, and I won't consider closing this trade until these two stochastic lines cross. So I'm just going to give this trade and all the other trades time to run, and from time to time I'll just flip through the charts and I'll look for when the stochastics cross. Now here, for the pound US dollar in the 15-minute chart, the stochastic lines are touching and we have a buy dot, so it's possible that the trend might be changing at this point. We have mixed signals here. The trend momentum is down, but is still giving us a buy signal. So it just means that the signals are mixed, and so you don't do anything. And I'm just going to wait and see if I should actually close this trade at some point at a small loss. Let's see, the pound US dollar, here we are. I'm almost $4 in loss, $3 in loss. So we have a red candle and it seems to be going down, so it seems like this is just a little bit of a pullback and the trend is still down. And even though we got the buy alert, I would not act on it because these are not in agreement. So if I were to buy just because the signal buy turned green, if the momentum trend is down, that's a mixed signal, so I would not take the trade. I would wait for both of these to agree. So I hope that makes some sense. Now the trades are improving a little bit. We're approaching 8 a.m. Central Standard Time, and the trades are definitely improving. And here's my New Zealand US dollar. That was a sell trade. And my entries were not perfect, but you can see that the entries don't have to be absolutely perfect. But here it looks like we do have a cross of the stochastic line, so that would be a time to exit this trade. And let's see, that's the New Zealand US dollar. Unless you're used to trading lots of pairs at the same time, I wouldn't recommend having so many pairs in open trades at the same time, because it does get hard to manage. But this trade is actually in profit, and because it's a sell trade, we now have a red candle. So as long as the candle stays red and I'm in profit, I'm just going to leave the trade open because it could continue down. It tells me that momentum trend is down. So it just depends. You have to sort of use a little bit of common sense and whatever. If I see this candle turn green, then I'll close my trade. But the candle's red, so the momentum trend is down. I'm going to leave the trade open. And the Euro NZD, that was a buy, and the lines did cross here. Let's see what's happening with my Euro NZD. I'm $1.77 negative, and it says the trend is down and to wait. So that might be a trade that I would want to close at $1.83 negative. And let's look at the odd CAD. I didn't put in a vertical line for this. That was a sell at 14.59, so I'm going to go up here and get my vertical line and drop it. Okay, that's about when I sold. And we're looking at odd CAD. It says the trend is down, and I sold, and I'm 45 cents negative, so it's hovering right around about where my entry was, but the candle's red. So even though I have a green dot and the Stoch lines have crossed, because the candle's red and the trend is down, I'm just going to leave this trade open and see if it goes back into my favor. Now the pound yen is the biggest mover for the morning so far, and here's my pound yen. It was a sell trade, and I'm about $10 in profit. I've seen it be even more in profit when the price went down here. Trend is down, candle is red, and the Stoch lines are both sloping down. Now if you don't know what a stochastic indicator is, it's an overbought, oversold indicator, and usually the entry is right at the zero line here. So most of the red arrows pop up when the stochastic fast line, which is the purple line, crosses the zero line, and that's approximately when you'll get an arrow to, in this case, to sell. And both of these stochastic lines are headed down. So you have the purple fast line and the gray slow line, and as long as they're going in your desired direction and the candle is the desired color and the momentum is your desired momentum and trend, then just leave the trade open and wait for the stochastic to get, in this case, really oversold down here, like right around here. Because when it gets really oversold down in this area, that's when the trend will change. And you can see right here, that's exactly when the trend changed, and you did get a little green buy dot, and the candle just zoomed up. This is a bullish engulfing candle with a long tail. That means the buyers were buying more than the sellers were selling. So buying pressure was increased, the candle turned green and pushed up, and then you have a really nice long candle. So you can see this is the oversold area, and this is where you would have exited if you were in this long sell trade here. This is the area you would exit. So right now the stochastic is not in oversold territory yet, so I have a long ways to wait for the trend to keep being down, and this candle in the next several candles to stay on the downtrend. So I'm just going to leave this trade open to run. This trading system, the Forex Decimus, I think it's just a really nice, simple, easy little trading system. This is my first attempt at testing this new system that just came on the market, and so I kept my lot sizes really small, but I could easily trade with 0.50 mini lot or even one standard lot once I get comfortable with the system. But anywhere between 2% and 10% of your account is that would be the maximum risk to use for any size trading account. So I'm just being very conservative here because it's my first time using it, and I want to be conservative in showing you what the system can do. And I'm just going to let these trades run, and maybe I'll just pause the video. And it's now 8 a.m. Central Standard Time. If these trades improve after the US stock market opens, so if I don't lose electricity or internet connection, being on the beach in Mexico, and I regularly lose internet and electricity, so if I can keep this open, I'm just going to pause and come back from time to time to check on my trades. So you can see right here it's 16:03, so that's my broker time. I'm using FX Choice, a classic demo account, but it's just a few minutes after 8 a.m. Central Standard Time. So we'll just make a note of the time, and I'm going to put the video on pause, and then we'll come back from time to time if I'm able to and check on the trades. So thanks very much for hanging in here with me and watching, and we'll see you in a little while. Hi traders, I'm back. It's now 8:38 Central Standard Time, and the US stock market opened 8 minutes ago. And so now I want to revisit where we are with some of these trades. And the very first one I want to look at is the pound AUD. It says the trend is still down, but we have a green candle and the stochastic is oversold, but they're not touching, they're not kissing these two lines. And we're $7 in profit, now $8 in profit. So it's possible we're just having a little tiny pullback, but the stochastic is in oversold territory. So I'm going to keep my eye on this because I don't want it to go into a loss if it should reverse, and I'll know that when these two lines touch, and we'll watch and see what happens with the candle. So right now I'm $8.70 or so in profit, so that's okay. And let's take a look at the USD yen. I have to say that the signal that it gave was just a wonderful signal, and look at where the trade is right now. It's heading up into overbought territory, so it's probably going to pull back a little bit, but it can continue to go up. So I'm going to watch it because the stochastic is an overbought territory, and if the lines flatten and start to turn down, then I'll definitely close this trade to lock in some profit. What other trade is doing really well? My pound yen trade has given back pretty much all of the profit. It says the trend is still down, and I'm 24 cents. This was my biggest mover. It was way over $15 much earlier when I put it on. At this point down here, it was doing really well. Now it's going into some kind of consolidation. We have a really strong bullish candle. The stochastic is crossed, but it never did get really oversold. The purple fast line is at the zero line, so if it crosses above that, then I'm just going to close this trade, and I'm going to be really sorry that I lost on average $10, $12 in gain, but it could just be a little consolidation pullback because it says the momentum, the trend is down. So I guess this is a multi-time frame button here, indicator, that's possibly looking at the higher time frames to see what the true trend is, because being in a 15-minute chart, it's not the true trend that we're currently in. We're just taking advantage of short-term trend. And 15-minute chart. You can scalp or day trade, but you have to really watch the overall higher time frame trends. So what I could do is switch to a 4-hour chart. Well, let's switch to a 1-hour chart and see. We've got definite consolidation here. The range is kind of wide. Here's the top of the range, here's the bottom of the range, but now we're kind of right in the middle. So I would watch this. Let's see in a 4-hour okay, here's where you can see the real trend is in the 4-hour trend. If you draw your trend line like this, I would not even think of closing this trade out unless it broke above this white trend line. So it's possible that it's forming a little wedge pattern, and we don't know that, but if it crosses below this bottom trend line, then it's really going to shoot down. But right now it's right in the middle of this wedge, this triangle pattern. I love triangle patterns, but right now in the 4-hour chart the trend is down, but I'm going to go back to the 15-minute chart because I want to see this consolidation start to turn back down to the downside. Here's my trend line that I created, and you can see the trend, the wedge is different, but if I drag this right here, breaking this in a 15-minute chart would be a good exit point for me with a small loss so that it doesn't turn into a big loss. And here, if it breaks down below here, then the trend is going to resume to the downside. But before it resumes to the downside, trades always need to pull back a little bit. So this one's pulling back a little bit, it's in consolidation, but if it starts going down again, then it's really going to be strong if it crosses through this support line. However, it could bounce off of it, and if it bounces off of it, then that's where I would exit my trade, but we won't know that for a while. I'm just showing you these extra things because drawing trend lines is a real basic part of knowing how to trade, and you can really see what your trade is doing, and it helps you manage your trade, because entering is one thing, but exiting is actually a whole lot more difficult. So trend lines, if you learn how to draw your trend lines, you can manage your trade a lot easier. We're doing pretty good here, $32 profit. Actually, everything is doing really good. The only one that's still not in profit, oh, I have two that are not in profit. The Euro NZD, let's see, that was a buy trade. Now we're in consolidation, and we've had the pullback. Stochastic is right in the middle, so it says the trend is down. So at some point I should have been watching this and maybe exiting this trade, but really I'm not going to exit it when it's less than $1 in negative. That's kind of crazy, because we're in consolidation. Once it goes into consolidation, anything can happen. It can go up or go down, and I want the Euro NZD to go up because this is my buy trade. Now the other one that we're not in profit is the USD CAD, so let's look at it. That was a buy trade. Here was my entry, then we had a reversal, and now I'm not really paying attention to these trades because I just want this video to go on to show you how the signals work, if the signals are good or if they're bad. And so far I think the signals are pretty good. If I were trading this in a live account, I would be on top of each of these trades. I wouldn't actually put on so many trades at the same time because it's kind of hard to manage to watch them all. But really at this point, all I'm trying to do is show you that the signals that this button is giving you are really good signals. And here I am. It's almost 3 hours since I started this, and $26 in profit using a super conservative lot size for this size account. So I could easily have $100 or so if I were using bigger lot sizes that are more appropriate for this size account. But I just really wanted to see, this is my first demo attempt using this new signal service, and I just wanted to see how good the signals are, because that's the reason why people will buy this trading system is if the signals are good or not. And I think I've proven that the signals are good. If you buy the system and you use it, then I would consider definitely putting fewer pairs up and definitely watching them a lot closer and deciding where your better exit might be, because I really haven't been paying attention to the trades. But you can see that if I just let them run based on the signals, they're doing pretty good. And I think that this must be a multi-time frame button signal window that's basing the trend, the overall momentum trend, on the 4-hour time frame, which I think is excellent. That's exactly what it should be doing. One other thing that I learned about this system from chatting with the vendor is that the signals are given on closed bars. So the signal does not change and the signal alert does not happen until the end of a bar. So it's not at the beginning of a bar, it's at the end of the bar. That's called a closed bar alert. A lot of traders prefer trading on closed bars. Personally, I like to trade on open bars, but it doesn't really seem to matter all that much. But when a system trades on closed bars, it's not using time as much as price action, so it's more like a Rinko bar, which operates not based on time, it's just operating on a price action. And because this system uses a closed bar signal alert system, it's more like a Rinko system, in case any of you are interested in that. Now my trades are doing really well. I'm $43 in profit. So if I weren't making the video, I would certainly be paying more attention and deciding, looking at each chart to decide if I want to close some trades and book some profit. But I think that this is a long enough video to introduce you to the Forex Decimus system. So I would encourage you to pick it up if you want a really simple signal system that all you have to do is manage your trades and watch and learn how to exit, and learning to draw your trend lines will help you do that. Now we're almost $50 in profit, so if I had been using more reasonable lot sizes, I would be doing really well this morning. And I think for 3 hours of trading in a 15-minute chart, which I think is a lot safer than a 5-minute chart. But if you don't have a lot of time to spend in front of your computer, say you only have an hour, then I would definitely use this in a 5-minute chart. But because I'm at home and I have time, I prefer a 15-minute chart. I don't know how well this would work on a 30-minute, 1 hour, or 4 hour. I haven't had it long enough to test it like that. But I do know that it gives you email alerts and SMS alerts if you're looking for something like that. So I think that I've proven that this is a pretty good signal system, so I would highly encourage you to pick it up if you're looking for something like this and learn how to use it, practice it in a demo account, and I think you're going to be happy with it. So if you're interested in buying it, the link to purchase is below in the description box, so go ahead and go down there. And while you're at it, please like my video and please subscribe to my YouTube channel so that you can get notices when I make new training videos or a video introducing you to something new that's hit the market. So thanks again for watching and have a wonderful day.